Hey there everybody, welcome back to another one of my budgeting videos. It feels like it's been forever since I've sat down and done one of these, and it kind of has been. I was in Edmonton from Monday evening of last week, so a week ago today, through until sort of Saturday night, and I tried my best to keep every single receipt from every single purchase, no matter how big or small, because I wanted to be able to tally them all up at the end because I have a travel fund, so I need to add everything up and hopefully find out I didn't go over my budget. There were some unexpected expenses, of course, and my brother actually very kindly offered to pay for my Ubers to and from the airport. I had to Uber to the airport here and to the airport from my mom's place in Edmonton, but home from the airport here, I got a ride from a friend, and my brother picked me up at the airport when I arrived in Edmonton. So 2 Ubers, 2 rides from people. Yeah, I don't know. I know that it's a really messy view for you right now with just piles of receipts, but I wanted you to share in the chaos that I am currently experiencing as I'm going through all the receipts and trying to see what I've missed, or, what in the world did I buy? You know how it is when you go away, like you go over the things later and you're like, I don't even know what this receipt says. So I'm going to put them into piles. They're not just spread out haphazardly. They're in piles based on the date of the purchases. But I am missing 2 receipts. And then, of course, I don't get receipts for the Uber. And I'm completely missing a charge to my credit card. And I don't know, it's not even showing as pending, but my bank is still having technical problems. It's been having technical problems for how many weeks has it been now? I don't even know anymore. And yeah, so I'm assuming that will appear at some point. I don't know, but of course, I think that's one of the ones that, do I have the receipt for? I do. I at least have the receipt for it, so I can tally it up in my total and just assume that at some point it's going to appear on my credit card. So let's see what the damage is. Okay, so my November trip to Edmonton started with the Uber to YVR. It's $42.83. So the first receipt I have is this one right here for the flight stop in the airport. This was an emergency purchase. So my cat Striker, I just want to preface this with, he travels all the time. He's a very experienced flyer. He knows what he's doing. I'm not being mean by taking him with me on planes, but he had a very stressful weekend leading up to us going out of town on the Monday, and he just had a bad time of it this go around. So when we go through security, I ask for a private room for screening for him so that he doesn't have to come out of his carrier in amongst the crowd and potentially run into like a dog or something. And when I was in the private room and I went to go take him out of the carrier, the poor little guy had an accident and wet himself. And because, of course, the base of his travel carrier, it's like sheep fur or fuzz or something, I don't know. He was just wet. He was just soaking wet from about like his waist down because it had just kind of gotten everywhere, I suppose. I felt so incredibly bad for him. So I stopped, as soon as we were done at security, I stopped at, it's called Flight Stop. It's like a corner store inside the airport. And I bought some baby wipes and a travel blanket, which was very expensive for what it was. And then a very overpriced bottle of water. That was for me. Because I needed to clean him up and I needed to put something down in the carrier because, of course, the base of the carrier, it was a lost cause. It was so wet. So now technically, I suppose I could take the cost of the wet wipes and the travel blanket out of Striker's money because I do have money set aside for expenses for him. And they are for him, but I'm going to see. If I don't have enough money in my travel fund to cover everything, I might do that. If not, I'm just going to lump it all together with the cost of travel this time around, and hope it never happens to the poor guy again. He was fine on the way back, so I'm hoping it was just because it was a very bad weekend. So we got baby wipes, bottle of water, and a blanket for $37.34. I'm missing a receipt. I had to get food when I was in the airport. I thought I was going to go to a sandwich shop that I remembered very fondly, but I had my airports mixed up. That sandwich shop is in the Edmonton airport. So I was looking around for something, but I was a little bit rushed because, of course, dealing with Stryker, I took him to a family bathroom and gave him a bit of a bath, which, let me tell you, did not impress him, and kind of got him all tidied up and everything. But it did mean that it ate into our time. So I just grabbed a poke bowl from a place called Hula for $18.90. It was all right. So these are the expenses on the YVR side. Now, once we get into Edmonton, the first day, so this was the 19th. I think I'm going to stop writing like what the specifics are because that's just going to be too much. So Dollarama, I spent $6.30. Most of that was on birthday cards. Actually, all of that was on birthday cards. We had a lot of family birthdays. I thought I took birthday cards. I kind of grabbed a stash that I had, and only a couple of them turned out to be relevant. So birthday cards from Dollarama. Winners, $56.66. So I got a blanket for a friend and what I call a set of like Christmas cheese knives for a friend. Those are Christmas presents. And then I would have sworn I only bought one pet toy, but clearly I bought two, and I'm just misremembering where I purchased one of them at. So my friends and I, we give presents to each other, but we also give gifts to our friends' pets. So I bought a cow for my friend here whose dog got dressed up as a cow for Halloween because it just was adorable, and like a stuffy with a squeaker in it gingerbread house for a friend in Edmonton for her dog. And I think he had it all of 10 minutes before he was tearing it quite literally open. I'm always so impressed with dogs being able to do that. Chapters is a refund. Isn't that exciting? So I bought a book as a gift for my mom, and she already had it, and I couldn't even keep it because I already own it as well. That particular purchase that I did at Chapters, I paid partly with a gift card, and then I guess like partly like whatever the difference or however much the gift card didn't cover, I paid the rest with my present sinking fund. So the book refunded, it was $25. The total refund is $26.25. So I got $25 onto a gift card for store credit, and then $1.25, which I believe is the GST. So I don't know if that was on purpose. Maybe they can't put that onto a gift card. I'm not really certain, but I got negative, so a refund of $1.25 onto my Visa, and I have the gift card sitting on my counter. The liquor store, is this all still in the same day? No, so I've moved on to a different day now, I think. Where's the date? Yes, there. I really didn't write this out like very well, did I? Oh well, we'll just keep going. Edmonton, November 20th. I bought a very expensive bottle of wine as a gift. I don't know anything about wine, so I asked for advice and was told this was the one to get. And the person I gifted it to said, I mean, like they loved it. They were very happy, and I guess it's a good one. I don't know. I know nothing about wine. Hit up another Dollarama. Because now this one, I mean, it's not really my fault. You'll never believe how much I spent at a Dollarama. Look at this, $58.38. There's a postal strike in Canada, And I had purchased 2 gift cards that were supposed to be delivered to my mother's house to be used for Christmas gifts. And they have no estimated delivery date, and I can't cancel them, unfortunately, with Chapters. I tried. They won't let me. So they're just out there in the world somewhere in a Canada Post warehouse, maybe. I really have no idea where they are. There's not even like a last update from where they were before they went on strike. They're just MIA. And I needed presents. So I went and I purchased, I was going to go back to Chapters, but Dollarama had Chapters Indigo gift cards. So I bought 2 $25 gift cards. And did I get anything else on there? 25, 50. Oh, I got some soup. And my mom was buying a thing of frosting, so I just added it onto mine because I was already buying so much anyways. And a candy. I don't remember the candy. This was too long ago, and who's going to remember candy? The bulk of this is gift cards. I don't know what to do. I can't refund the gift cards I'd already purchased. I kind of hoped I would, and then it would just offset this additional purchase. They will eventually show up at my mom's house once the postal strike ends, and she said that she'll mail them to me when they get there. So I guess I've just pre-purchased myself $50 at Chapters, which I mean is not a bad thing. I like to read. What I will probably do is sort of set it off to the side and make a note somewhere in a book for my present purchasing sinking fund that I have $50 in gift cards for Chapters that I can use towards presents there. A lot of my friends like to read, and they have a lot of really great things for stocking stuffers coming up into December. So they're a really good place for buying presents from. So I think I'm just going to funnel those gift cards back into my present sinking fund and just hope that I find things that I want to purchase directly from Chapters, since I can't just use them anywhere. I don't know. It's the best solution I have come up with so far. The 21st, so I went out with a friend. Believe it or not, this was supposed to be a more expensive day. We went for lunch. The place we were going to go ended up being closed. So then we went into the mall, West Edmonton Mall, and we went to Bourbon Street, and we were going for Mexican, and then we saw this noodle place. So we went there. I'm not even going to pretend that I know how to pronounce that. If you are in Edmonton and you go to Bourbon Street and you've been there, I'm just curious if you liked it or not. I did. It was okay. It was nothing like amazing or anything, but it also wasn't bad. So, you know, it was perfectly pleasant. We sat for a very long time while talking though, and we were supposed to be going to an escape room, but this was the day that the snow started, and I was driving my mom's car in snow, which I don't normally do because of where I live. We get like 3 days of snow, and I have an SUV. So it takes me a little bit longer to get used to it again because I haven't lived in Edmonton full time in a very long time. So I told my friend I didn't really want to go outside of the West End, which she was fine with, but we ended up talking for so long that when we started looking for escape rooms that we could do that would fit in with where we were location-wise and the timing that I had to be back to my mother's, there weren't any. So we just wandered the mall and kind of, just talked and had fun and hung out. So that was great. But this is one of the days where one of the receipts is missing because we went to a store called Rooms and Spaces, and I spent $6.29 on a silicone. It's about like this tall, about like that wide. It's a measuring cup, but it's silicone and it's squishy and it's lightweight. My mom's in her 80s and she finds some things really hard to hold because they're heavy, like when they're made of glass or anything like that. I don't know if she'll like it because it doesn't have a handle, and handles are very important to her, but it's so lightweight, and she is really preferring silicone for like baking trays and whatnot lately, so I thought I'd give it a try. It's all wrapped up in with her stocking stuffer presents that I left there with my brother for him to put into her Christmas stocking. So if she doesn't like it, I mean, that's unfortunate because I was hoping it would be helpful for her, but maybe she'll like it and it'll be a good surprise. Okay, so we went to Yisk and I got a Christmas ornament as a gift for somebody and a fleece blanket, sort of for me and Striker. We both like fleece blankets. So I spent $18.88 there. Then we were in the mall and I went to Miniso they were having a really good sale. It doesn't actually show there though, but there was a sale, I promise. So in total, $23.09. Dollarama again. I know, I swear I don't like live there, I promise. $5.25. It says Christmas scratcher. I don't know what that means. Isn't that horrible? That wasn't that long ago, but it's all kind of muddled for like what I bought when. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And then this one, I don't know what this one is either. Like Sarita brand. I can't even figure out what store that is. The thing on the other side says Rudolph and MDSE Street something. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, clearly I purchased it. I'm gonna have to Google the store because I am curious. A lot of the things that I bought were presents for people there, so I purchased them and then I wrapped them, and then they're either gifted already because they were a birthday present, or they're there and wrapped and under my mom's tree as a Christmas present for somebody. So I can't really go, it's not like I have a pile of stuff with me that I purchased that I can go through and be like, oh, that's the thing that I bought. Like, if I don't remember, it's just gone. Lindt chocolate I bought for some, there was what was it, Black Friday sales, so I bought some chocolate for Christmas presents, $9.74. And now we're on to the 23rd. I believe this is the 23rd. So yeah, so I don't know where I was about to go with that very paused start there in my sentence. Apologies. This is at the airport. This is from the sandwich shop that I was looking forward to, which I gotta say, like, I've had really good sandwiches from there, and I don't know why, but this time around I just didn't care for it. I have no idea why, so I probably won't do it again because they're very expensive. They're very large, don't get me wrong. Like, if you're really hungry, maybe I just wasn't hungry enough, but if you're very hungry, they're like a really good size sandwich on a really crispy bun, and there's all kinds of different things you can get filled in there. But it's just, I don't know, I wasn't doing it this time. And then I also have my Uber to the Edmonton airport was $52.21. And then at YVR, my friend picked me up and she had parked and then came in to find me, so I paid for the parking $14, which is insanity. My flight was delayed though, so she was there a little bit longer. And then on the 24th, I have an Uber charge, so that's the Sunday, for $7.83. I have no idea what that is from, where it came from. I realized I'm also missing a charge because on the 23rd when I got home, I ordered sushi, and that should have charged to my Visa card because it goes through Uber Eats and everything through Uber goes to my credit card. That is not showing on my Visa statement. And of course, because it was a digital, I don't have a receipt. So I don't even remember how much that was. I know I can go into my Uber account, but I use my phone for recording. So I do have on the 24th an Uber charge of $7.83. It doesn't fall under the dates of the trip. I'm assuming, like I said, that it's somehow a tip connected to one of my Ubers, and it got put on separately. I don't know. I'll put it down here because it has to be connected somehow. So Uber $7.83. Okay, so making sure that's still all visible. You may be wondering why I broke it up in writing like this. It's because I'm horrible at math. We all know this. So I'm going to be adding it up by sort of like by date, and then adding those numbers up in the hopes that that will help to minimize my doing something wrong. I'm trying to get better. I am. So for the Uber, the flight stop, and the poke bowl, $99.07, which is already terrifying. Then $6.30 plus $56.66, then minus $1.25. Okay. $66.26 plus $58.38, $124.64. $24.66 plus $6.29, $30.95, $18.88, $23.09, $5.25, $24.10, $9.74, $21.29, $52.21, $87.50, and then this weird $7.83. So $99.07 plus $61.71 plus $124.64 plus $30.95 plus $81.06 plus $87.50 plus $7.83. Where do I write this? I know it's chaos. I made no great way of formatting any of this. Total spent $492.76. So close, you guys. So my travel fund had $443, well, has $443.50 in it. So I did go over. However, I do have the offer, and the money's already been transferred over, of paying for the Ubers. My brother sent $24. Oh goodness, $200. He sent $200 to go towards expenses. So I was sort of holding on to it, thinking if I can cover it myself, then I will. And then that $200 I'll put onto the line of credit. I know that's horrible of me, but I thought if I have the money in my travel sinking fund to pay for my own travel expenses, and the money that he very kindly gifted me, I could put towards the greater good. But I'm going to use it. So I'm going to do $200 from the money that he gave me, and then that will leave me with spending $292.76 from my travel, and that will cover everything on there. My Visa statement or balance, neither one of those is right. It's weird. My Visa looks weird on the app still. So it was showing, I think, like a balance of $600 and something, which makes absolutely no sense, because the only charges that I have on there are the charges that I have just tallied up here. Anything from prior was already paid off. It's just because they're processing things weird. Did I tell you a refund is missing? I had a refund and it showed and then it disappeared, and it's not like accounted for anywhere on my Visa right now. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to track anything, how to figure out if something's gone through and processed or not. It's all very confusing. I'm putting a lot of trust in the bank to not mess things up. And it's a little uncomfortable feeling. So I'm going to sign off of recording this video so I can go and immediately pay this amount onto the Visa card from the combination of my travel sinking fund and the money that I was given to go towards Uber, so that I can get that through and it'll process before the end of the billing cycle. And cross fingers that everything just works and that they figure out eventually whatever it is that is going on with them, because I don't know, but it's chaos right now. But here we go. One final look. These are all of the expenses, including food and airport stuff and Uber and transit and all of that I did while I was in Edmonton. It's a lot of money spent in a very short amount of time. The bulk of it is gifts. There are some things in there, of course, that aren't. One of those Dollarama trips, I feel like there were a million of them. It must be that one. I got one of those viral cat cardboard Christmas houses that you've been seeing all over social media. My mom and I had both been kind of looking for them. I'd given up completely in finding them, and then I found them. And I had to buy one for Stryker. I just absolutely had to. So I did, and I brought it home, which is insanity. I haven't even opened it yet. I'm going to open it for him on the weekend as a present. I know I'm ridiculous. Just run with it. So thank you very much for sitting with me while I'm figuring out the charges and expenses and whatnot for my trip to Edmonton. I very much appreciate you joining me on my budgeting journey and showing you, getting a chance to show you how I was paying for the expenses of this trip. And it's all because every paycheck I put money into that travel sinking fund and have been storing it up like a little chipmunk with seeds in a tree, because I knew this trip was coming and I knew there were going to be expenses, because there are with every trip, and I wanted to be able to pay for everything without it being a hit to my overall budget. So this is how it all broke down. Thank you so much for watching. I hope your budget is going really well. If you have any trips or traveling or anything like that coming up, I think a lot of people maybe do because of the time of year. I'd love to know how you budget for that. If you have a travel sinking fund, if you use the credit card and then just make bigger payments over a span of time to pay it off, like what's your strategy? This is the only one I've ever really come up with when it comes to travel, is to just save up a little at a time and then try very hard to not go over what I've saved up. Didn't quite work, but I was pretty good. I didn't go too much over, I don't think. So I will talk to you all in the next video. Again, thank you so much for watching and sticking around with me while I ramble at you. I very much appreciate it. Stay safe out there. Talk to you later. Bye.